All right, dads-to-be, welcome. We're about to dive into paternity leave, but not in the way you might think. We're not talking about time off. We're going to frame this as a strategic investment in your family's future. And this right here, this is your guide to getting it right.
And let's just get this straight from the get-go. This time, it isn't a break from responsibility. You know what it is? It's the start of one of the biggest responsibilities you'll ever have. It's a deliberate, strategic move that's going to pay dividends for a lifetime.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why this is such a huge strategic investment. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the preparation playbook for before the baby arrives, the hands-on immersion period when you're on leave, and how to make a strategic return to work. And of course, we'll wrap up with some common mistakes you're going to want to avoid. Okay, let's get into it.
First up, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Why is treating this time with so much intention so incredibly important? Well, because the stakes are high, but man, the benefits are long-term.
You know, the cool thing is that research totally backs this up. Dads who take longer leave, they're more involved in their kids' lives, not just for a few months, but for years. This early, hands-on time builds what they call parenting mastery. It's really just a fancy way of saying you gain real confidence in what you're doing. You establish that co-parenting dynamic right from the start, and get this, it also has a real, measurable positive impact on your partner's career. It's a win-win.
Okay, so we get the long-term benefits. Now let's talk about phase 2, the preparation playbook. Success here doesn't just happen by accident. It's all about proactive planning. This is how you set yourself up to be fully present when it really, really counts.
Look, a smooth handoff at work is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to truly disconnect. This 6-month timeline is your key. So 6 months out, you announce it and start planning. 5 months out, you're documenting everything and cross-training your colleagues. 4 months out, you get ahead of it and address your team's hopes and, let's be real, their fears about you being gone. Then, 2 months out, you're defining the guiding principles so they can make decisions confidently while you're away.
Now, while you're handling the team stuff, you've got to get clarity on the administrative side. Think of this as your essential checklist for HR. The insurance questions are huge. You have to know the process and the deadlines for getting your baby enrolled. Then there's the logistics. Who's your point person? What paperwork is on your plate? And finally, think about the time and money. Can you stack your PTO to extend your leave? What are your options for a gradual part-time return? Seriously, getting these answers early saves so much last-minute stress.
And let's be real about one of the biggest hurdles here, money. The source material shows that 2/3, that 66%, of men who thought about taking longer leave said financial concerns were holding them back. This is a real, totally valid worry. Understanding your company's policy and planning your budget ahead of time is just a critical step in making all this work.
All right, you've done the prep work. The handoff is done. Now you're in it. This is the immersion period. And this isn't about passively helping out. It's about actively building your role as a father, one diaper, one feeding at a time.
So, here's the crucial thing to remember. These aren't just chores. They're the literal building blocks of a secure attachment. Every feeding, every bath, every story you read is an investment in your long-term relationship. This is how you gain that parenting mastery and really learn your baby's unique cues. Pretty soon, you'll know the difference between a hungry cry and a tired cry. And trust me, that feels like a superpower.
And this is the goal. This quote from a dad says it all. It's not about being a carbon copy of your partner. It's about finding your own unique rhythm, your own style, your own way of being a dad. And that's exactly what this immersion period makes possible.
Those first few days home can feel like a total hurricane, right? So here's a simple framework to get through it. Day 1 is just about settling in. That's it. Day 2, you start to find a rhythm, and you become your partner's #1 advocate. By day 3, you start building your own confidence by really taking the lead on specific tasks. It's just a way to bring a little order to the chaos.
Now, let's just address the elephant in the room. The data shows that nearly 3/4 of men believe there's a stigma attached to taking a long paternity leave. So if you feel a little uneasy about it, or you get some weird comments, just know you are not alone. It's a real pressure, for sure, but taking this time is a courageous act that actually helps change the culture for everyone.
Yeah, and that external pressure can pile on top of the internal pressure you're already feeling. So, amidst all of this, please remember, the fatigue and the stress are real, and they are normal. This is a massive life change, so just acknowledge it, don't try to power through it. Talk to your partner, lean on your friends and family. Your own well-being is absolutely essential here.
Okay, so the leave is winding down, but the strategy doesn't stop. The final phase of this whole journey is the strategic return. Getting back into your professional life takes just as much intention and planning as the handoff did, especially now that you're balancing this brand new identity as a father with your career goals.
And a huge source of anxiety for a lot of guys is the fear of being seen as less committed at work. I mean, look at this. 44% of fathers worry that asking for any kind of flexibility, like leaving on time for daycare pickup, could actually hurt their career. It's a super common and totally understandable fear. But let's arm you with the business case to push back on that.
And this right here is the powerful counter-argument. Just look at these numbers. An overwhelming majority of fathers who get flexibility report increased loyalty, better productivity, and more motivation. So this isn't a drain on the company. It's a proven benefit that creates a more dedicated employee.
So here's the key takeaway. When you ask for flexibility, you're not asking for a personal favor. You're starting a business negotiation. You come to the table with a clear plan for how you'll get your work done, and then you use the data we just saw. Frame it around the benefits to the company. Something like, this arrangement will allow me to be more focused and productive, and it's going to deepen my loyalty to this team.
Okay, finally, let's run through a few common pitfalls. Honestly, just knowing what these are is half the battle, so you can sidestep them completely.
First big mistake, falling into the helper role, just waiting to be told what to do. The solution? Adopt a co-CEO mindset right from day one. You are an equal partner in this whole venture. Proactively own your responsibilities. Don't wait to be asked.
The second pitfall is ignoring your own needs until you're completely burned out. You just can't pour from an empty cup. The fix is simple, but it's powerful. Schedule your own self-care, a quick workout, a walk, a few minutes of reading, with the same importance as any other critical task on your to-do list.
And the last common mistake is just kind of showing up back at work and hoping for the best. That's a recipe for feeling overwhelmed. Instead, you have to proactively design your return, communicate your needs, set clear boundaries like a hard stop at 5 p.m., and schedule regular check-ins with your manager to make sure that transition is going smoothly. So, to wrap this all up, paternity leave is not a pause button. It's a launch pad. The preparation you do and the presence you bring during this critical time, that sets the foundation for your entire family's future. The bond you build, the partnership you establish, it really does pay dividends for a lifetime.
We've walked through the strategy, the timeline, and the mindset. You have the playbook. So the only question left is a personal one. How will you choose to architect your role as a father starting right now?